Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The kids are still at practice, and I have no idea what's for dinner.
You can get a rotisserie chicken and 2 sides for just $15 in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Who said that? Who's in my house? Don't play with me, because I'm not the one.
It's just your friendly Walmart announcer. This is a commercial.
Oh, okay. You were saying dinner for a family was just $15?
Yep, it'll be at your door by the time you get the kids home from practice. Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Subject to availability, restrictions and fees apply.
Now that was a helpful commercial.
I'm going to say a sentence, and you tell me how accurate or inaccurate it is. The Dolphins are the Lions of the AFC, and the Lions are the Dolphins of the NFC.
That's 100%.
There's a fatal flaw in these two teams,
exact.
and they're both eminently watchable. They both have great constructed offenses that are on a week-to-week basis producing wonderful highlights for our viewing pleasure. But thematically, what I wanted to discuss before we get into like the meat of the power rankings is the Cowboys bullied the bullies with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles in the past have bullied, and the Bills even have bullied the Dolphins. The Dolphins are there; they seem to be bullyable. The Bears bullied the fucking Lions, slapped them around because, quite frankly, I mean, in the immortal words of Aaron Rodgers, we still own you. There's no world in which the fucking Lions can ever get good enough to not get slapped around by the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. I'm sorry. And I was super confident going into that game. And I know you came away from it going like, oh, that's so crazy that the Bears won. I was like, no, I fucking knew. It was just the world was aligned. But because it's the fucking Lions, Bob, you have to remember this stuff, like there's more Maddens in your library with shitty Dolphin and Lion teams than there are good ones. You know what I mean? So we just have to remember who these franchises are from time to time. Thematically, like and forget the actual teams, if you were building an NFL team right now to go and win a Super Bowl, what kind of a team would you build? Because if this was the first 4 weeks, we would have said zone run, athletic, super fast skill positions, et cetera, yeah. If this was maybe these last 4 weeks before this week, it's like we need a hard-nosed team. We need a trenches team. We need a team that can do a vertical run and beat you through the air like once you're beat up on the ground. All the formulas have worked at some point, but there's no seeming definite formula, right? So what kind of team would you build in order to find success in today's NFL?
I think the tried and true way, and I think you're seeing it
just be good.
Well, yeah, fair. But I think you're seeing it with the Cowboys. I think you saw it with the Chiefs when they were dominant. You see it with the Eagles. You see it with the Rams back in the day, or even now with Cup. Above average to great quarterback and a non-diva true number one wide receiver. You can take that to the fucking bank, in my opinion.
Okay, but the Bills are at the bank with that, and they can't
get
their chest.
Diggs
they can't get their chest.
Though.
Is he?
He's kind of I mean, I guess you're right, but I mean, they still were there. They were there. They just couldn't get over the hump, and that's still 4 or 5 years of continued success with that exact formula. So, like, that's if you're asking me to build a team, that's what I do.
Yeah, you need a good quarterback and wide receiver combo.
That's it.
It's still true that you can't win on the run. You can build a great regular season.
You can survive. You can survive. Yeah, you can survive.
You can maybe win a playoff game on the back of the run, but you're eventually going to run into that team, aren't you? You're eventually going to run into, not now, but Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, or Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. You're going to run into Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. You're going to run into Tom and Gronk, or Tom and any other sort of or Tom and Randy, or whatever, like some iteration of Tom Brady's weapons. Tom Brady and Chris Godwin. I don't fucking know, but you're gonna run into a guy a tandem. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase not sort of featuring in this conversation anymore. That's probably going to take you down, and that's still sort of the name of the game. Why? Because I think the rules are laid out to have the most benefit to those two positions. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I want to talk about the referees, and I don't talk about the referees very often with you on this show because it's not that it's a boring conversation. It's just that like it feels shitty that we have to have it, and I feel we're finally at the point where we need to talk about it because it has been a piss poor refereeing season, like really, really, really bad. And the only thing I can think, I mean, it's not always affecting my team, and when it does, it pisses me off obviously more. I was looking at sort of the national media after Mahomes and Andy Reid's reaction. Obviously, this is going to be a staple of this conversation. After Mahomes and Andy Reid's reaction to the offsides call on Kadarius Toney that resulted in probably the best play of the season, maybe the best play of the last 5 years.
Clearly fucking offsides.
Okay, so this has been the national media sort of talking point, right? Where it's like, well, he's clearly offsides. You guys have gotten calls in the past. And the two sides of the argument are what I have a problem with. Like the fact that it's, you guys have gotten bad calls going your way in the past, you can't bitch. Or, well, he was clearly offside, whatever. Or it's like my first instinct.
Can't call that.
My first instinct was that you can't call that. Like it's a fucking ticky-tack foul. It's to decide a fucking game. You got to be fucking smarter than that. But I don't want the referees refereeing in context. I want them to just call the fouls that are fouls and the penalties that are penalties. I want them just to get it right. My issue is this isn't transitioning into a larger conversation about how there's situations you can point to this season where they don't call that. So there's situations like the PI the week before Mahomes and Reid stay completely quiet on. That's a more egregious call.
So to me, that's where this is coming from, to be perfect. So I have I have a conspiracy theory route on this. And
I love conspiracy. Yeah, you want to talk about JFK after this? I'm down.
Yeah, but that's a whole separate podcast, but we can fucking do that. we'll talk about it. But yeah, so all of a sudden you got my brain just going down. I went down 4 different rabbit holes in a matter of 4 seconds after you said that. Yeah, so there's a very logical way to look at this where it's like last week they were so professional on such an egregious call.
I don't know if I would have been able to keep my shit together.
It was honestly the worst pass interference miss I've seen since the Rams Saints,
since that playoff
playoff game. Yeah, it was so egregious where I saw it was like, what just happened? How on earth do you not call that? He was like 4 seconds early. And it was bad.
It was really bad. There was also, by the way, I don't necessarily think that you should be calling these, and I don't really want to discuss it now. But there was another one for the Hail Mary for the 500.
Agreed. Yeah, there was.
And Kelsey got interfered with there too, and it's like, I kind of don't really want you to call those. Like I think you're just playing 500 in the schoolyard in situations like that. Like whoever can get it can get it, and if you want to push and shove each other in those situations, like I'm good with it. But on the back of a no call, and a no call that every human being that follows football in context agreed happened because Marquez Valdez-Scantling is the guy who got interfered with, and nobody gives a fuck about Marquez Valdez-Scantling. If that's Tyreek Hill, PI right away. If that's Puka Nacua, PI right away. Cooper Kupp, PI right away. Like if that's like Juju Smith-Schuster, they're calling that fucking PI. To be honest with you, like I think there's probably 50 guys that they're calling a fucking PI for in that situation, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling unfortunately is 51. And that's bullshit. Like that's not cool. That's bad refereeing. You're bad at your job. And I've said this in the chat. In a league where everything is elite, every single thing is elite. Yeah. The broadcasts are elite. The medical staffs are elite. Say what you will about the blue 10, the concussions, but the medical staffs are elite. If you get to the NFL of something, you've gotten to the top of that thing. Yeah.
No, I agree. Is there more to that?
No, it's just you
No,
were
okay.
you were itching to jump in.
So this is where my conspiracy theory comes in, right? So the logical portion is like, yes, it just bubbled over. Technically he was offsides, technically, although there's footage of him checking in, all that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, there's also, and I know this has been hashed around the national media all week, but there's also the thing of like, apparently, and I didn't know this, but apparently, when it happens once or twice, because it's such a little ticky-tack call,
you get a warning.
you
get a
get
warning.
like, hey, like they'll tell the head coach.
Yeah.
My understanding is they'll tell the head coach, like, yo, tell him to line up properly. He's offsides. We're gonna call that next time, which
But-
seems kind of fair because offsides is nothing. It doesn't affect the play. Like it doesn't.
Agree, but so also the logical portion of it is like it's like last week, right? It is MVS. He sucks. But they're not going to give him that call.
Right. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Kadarius.
Yeah.
It's Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
And Kadarius Toney is known for being a fucking idiot and known for doing shit just
Well, I think it's
like
the reason the Giants
this.
fucking traded him, and he was a first pick.
Just
Right.
like this. So
Yeah.
like it's like the bad kid on the playground who tosses dirt and gets in trouble no matter what. But there's
I don't
this kid
disagree
over
with
here.
the idea that
know
like
what I
that,
mean?
you shouldn't be
They're
letting the
keeping it-
referees win or lose you games. Like I think if you're really truly
Yeah.
great, you don't put yourself in a position where the referees can make that
But-
call. And I agree with that. But the thing is, that was one of the best plays of all time.
But
like-
so yeah, that's where my conspiracy comes in, right? So all that aside, what is the narrative around the NFL right now, right? So the
mean, which one?
conspiracy is it's fixed, right? The refs are affecting everything. It's fixed to affect the Chiefs. It's fixed to affect the Eagles. They get all the calls. Everything's their way. All of a sudden, in my opinion, the past 2 weeks, we've seen egregious calls affect this team the game. In my mind, right? If the NFL was fixed, right, and it was becoming blatantly obvious that these great teams were getting these calls, and it was, there was people were dropping stats of like the holding calls against Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, and the best teams in the league over the past 10 years were like, it was like 2% of 98% of the holds were against those guys, which is like a crazy number, and all of a sudden it completely flips. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, I do.
maybe people were peeking under the hood and they're like,
it's
"Oh
my-
shit! Oh
it's my
shit!
natural.
We gotta,
It's my
we
natural.
gotta
I
cover
see
this
where you're
up."
getting. It's my natural post-COVID instinct to poke holes in conspiracy theories. So let me just poke a few holes in the conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Number
It's
one.
funny. It's funny. COVID has led me so I've gone the opposite direction since COVID. I've been like, all right,
All right. Before we descend into the Joe Rogan podcast, let's stick to the task at hand.
we'd
Let me
be
just poke a
better.
few holes.
We'd be better.
Of course. I mean, that guy's a moron. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. It doesn't surprise me that the most elite quarterbacks in history have the most elite offensive lines in history. First off, that's not a thing that like
That's fair. That's
like
fair.
the guys that protected Tom Brady. To me, if I was naming like I can't name a shitload of offensive linemen, but I can probably name you like
a lot of Patriots
12 of
offensive
fucking
linemen.
Tom
Yeah,
Brady's
that's
offensive
fair,
linemen,
that's fair,
right?
that's
Like
fair.
it's a thing, right?
I already have
So-
like 6 in my head. So.
exactly, and Matt Light's everybody's first one, right? So it's
Joe,
like
Joe Andruzzi.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
and the thing is that like there's a reciprocity with the offensive line. Like you can take a guy who's a 6 out of 10 and put him at right guard, and if he has Tom Brady behind him, there's a few factors that are going to factor in. One is you're in sort of a club, like the offensive line and quarterback club, so you have to raise your game. 2, you don't want to get Tom Brady sacked. Like your motivations are through the fucking roof. Like that's not a guy you want to get sacked. And I would even parlay that into the idea that the referees are calling less. It's you understand this because I know how closely you watch basketball. The referees are given superstar calls because it's a genuine human instinct to not want to piss off a guy that is that powerful. Like it's just a human instinct. It's not, it's not rocket science. It's even if you don't think you do it, you do it. And then there's the referees who become cognizant of that, and then they call against those guys on purpose in order to like reverse the bias. There's always going to be human error in this system in refereeing across all sports. I mean, you're not a soccer fan, but the Liverpool season, the most egregious refereeing decision in the history of me watching the sport happened this season. And it has referees on the brain for me. And it's easy to delve into the conspiracy theory because we're going to fix it this way, we're going to fix it that way. But really, it's just the human pattern recognition thing where you go, yeah, if we were going to fix it, this is how we would do it. So maybe they're doing it.
But
Why would they? Why would they risk the product? It doesn't
But
make
why? Agreed. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't. Okay, but the thing that always blows my mind about it is like, how can such a powerful organization, when there's the technology out there, right, to do certain things, like you see in
this
tennis,
is I 100% agree.
where they can fucking pinpoint the fucking inches of like the fuck, you know what I mean, like millimeter if it's in or out. But the NFL is relying on like you know what I mean, strings to fucking measure things and like eye test to get the ball spot right and shit like that. It's like, bro, you're just letting different things into the game that just don't. You're letting human error into the game that doesn't need to
100%,
be there at
100%.
certain point. It's
Now-
like even with penalties, right? Even that pass interference, right? Why the fuck can't someone in the booth be like, "Hey, bro, that was fucking pass interference.
Well,
You
let me
need to
play
throw
devil's
that
advocate.
fucking
Let
flag."
me play devil's advocate for a hot
Very
second.
easy to do, though.
I understand. I understand. I think that there's a limit to it, though. I think that like there comes a point where I think that human judgment calls should and do hold a place in sports. I think that like the human factor of
Element.
the human factor I wish existed more in refereeing now. In case in point, we're not throwing a fucking flag on Travis Kelce laterally jumping through the fucking air and throwing a perfect spiral midair.
That was so fucking
backwards,
amazing. bro.
backwards to a player to then that then resulted in a fucking score. We're not. That's the human element that I want in refereeing, and their aspirations to call the game by the book, right? It is what affected that play not being a play that has occurred. We're never going to talk about that play ever again. This is the last week we ever talk about one of the best plays I've seen in my life watching sports. And that's because they called a ticky-tack bullshit ass offsides foul. And that is bad for the product.
It's not
bad
great for the product. It
fucking
wasn't good for the
product.
product. Yeah, it's not good.
And I just think like the NFL is so fucking good at being good for itself. It's so amazing.
That's what I'm saying, man.
At elevating itself beyond. Every year they do something. Almost every rule change that the NFL has done in the last 5 years, I agree with the exception of the kickoff spot moving closer to the end zone. It's resulted in.
I don't like the
kickoffs.
onside kick changes either. I think that's bullshit. I hate that they changed.
I mean, as a psycho, I don't want anything taken away that could cause insane games. Like I don't think you should be allowed to punt. But like we're not going to get into that today.
That'd be so fucking cool.
It'd be
That'd
way
fun.
better.
Yeah.
No kicks, no punts. The only way to score is to get over that fucking line and put the fucking ball down. That's it.
What a savage game the NFL.
It'd be
would if there was
unbelievable.
no game.
It'd be
Yeah.
unbelievable. It'd be fucking unbelievable. It'd be the
It'd be
best thing
so
ever.
savage.
But like, regardless of all that, it's a different. I mean, banning kickers is a different pod. We can do a whole podcast about that if you like. I've been saying it on this.
Missed to give
podcast
your
for
kick.
years.
Yeah. Or no, you gave defense extra points, not kickers. Never.
I gave the kicker extra points in our fantasy league if he hits over 62 yards, which he should get extra. But is it the fact that I don't think he should exist doesn't mean if you kick a world record fucking field goal, you shouldn't get like a nice
That's
little
fair.
hefty
That's fair.
bonus in fantasy football. Secondly, I gave the defenses bonuses because all you scrubs that walk around playing fucking same rules Yahoo fantasy every fucking year and don't actually think about it conceptually. I don't mean you, Bobby, but I mean you a little.
No, man, listen, I'm in some in-depth.
No, you are.
Fantasy
You have,
league.
you absolutely have fantasy pedigree. I'm not insulting your fantasy pedigree. I fancy myself a good fantasy football player, only because of like my record and how often I win and draft good teams. But I think, I think there's merit to the idea that if you draft high on a defense, he can score you more points than an individual. They can score you more points than an individual player because they're not in reality an individual player. And I thought we were trying to amalgamate an approximation of a real football game.
I also think it's pretty good to be good at fantasy football when you make scoring changes and don't tell everyone. No, just kidding. You did tell everyone.
But I did tell everybody.
You did tell everyone.
You guys not listening is not my responsibility. Them you being like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, and then getting mad about it after 7 games is not my fault. It's not a fun job. I might add. I don't like being the fucking commissioner. I like being the guy talking shit to the commissioner.
I don't
all year.
understand. Has it started any? I don't under. Something happened?
I don't like being the fucking commissioner. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. I want to be you're in your spot being like, dude, what the fuck did you do? Why'd you do that? I want to do that, but I can't. So I have to be the adult in this room.
That
Sean.
never happened. That never happened.
Mike did it, and then he quit.
He did
Mike,
quit.
he was like, I'm done. Because nobody likes it. I mean, it's a limited time position. Someone's going to have to take it from me eventually.
But yeah, back to the refs. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we were doing a podcast.
But so I just think it is, as a product, bro, it really is bullshit they let it affect it that much. It really is.
That play should be playing on the fucking Jumbotron when you walk into the fucking NFL Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
He called, so to be fair, they called it before the play. Like, they called it before it even happened. It was a pre-snap. They did throw it pre-snap. It wasn't some late bullshit. Like,
Pick
it
the
was
flag
on,
up.
It was,
Pick the flag up, you fucking coward.
but like, yeah.
If he had picked the flag up and then gotten on his little microphone and been like, it was offsides, but that was sick. Touchdown. I would have been like, cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like, all
It's just,
good.
it feels like you said, though, everything else is getting better, but the refs are affecting the game more than ever. And it's, it's like,
Okay, can I start with one rule change that would just the first thing to do when we walk into the meeting before when you and I have been elected by the owners of the various esteemed franchises, some not so esteemed. I'm looking at you, Washington, franchises. And they say, Bobby and Dave, we want you to go and fix the problem. You're going to go sit down with the referees and you're going to change some stuff and you're going to make it better. Here's what me and you talking right now. This is the scenario we're in. We're doing our pre-meeting. And I'm like, Bob, I want to go in there and I want to bring up point of order 1.1. Holding calls are now 5 yards. And I don't want to go past that conversation.
Please.
Until we get that done.
Please. That is number one. I fucking hate holding, bro.
Here's the problem with the holding call.
It affects it.
Here's the problem with the holding call.
Like
Here's the problem with the holding call being 10 yards. Obviously, everybody knows the old adage, they happen on every play. I don't agree with that. I think that I think they've sort of narrowed down the threshold of egregiousness with holding, and they call it pretty correctly a lot of the time. And I only judge it on the fact that once the holding gets put on a replay, I'm like, oh yeah, that was fucking holding. That was fucking holding. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But I will also say, nobody, and I include cornerbacks in this, nobody has a bigger disadvantage within the rules of the game than offensive linemen in their 1v1 matchups. So when you call those holding calls and punish them with 10 yards, you hand their offense basically statistically a 3 and out almost immediately.
The death sentence to your drive.
Your drive's done. So now if it's 1st and 20 is your best case scenario, right? 1st and 20 is your best case scenario. But what usually really happens.
It's never that.
Yeah. What usually really happens is it's 3rd down and it was going to be 3rd and 2, but now it's 3rd and 12 and you're fucked. Because 3rd and long doesn't work anymore. Nobody makes those anymore. It just doesn't work. You have to get up.
Or you have an electric run that's 45 yards and
it gets pulled back.
And it literally would changes the course of the game, man, where it's like you have a 1st down on the 13-yard line.
Here's where I'd be
ready to drive and cut it to a 1-score game.
Here's where I'd be willing to compromise.
30 and it's 2nd and 30. You're like,
Say we make it an automatic 5-yarder, right? That would work for me. But you're right, it still does pull the play back. What about this? It's a from the spot of the ball foul. So you hold someone and and on that play, the offense scores a touchdown. It's 1st and goal on the 10-yard line because there was a hold.
That's tough though.
How?
Because what if the hold was the reason for the run though? I think you do it from the spot, wherever the ball carrier.
The hold often is the reason for the run, actually.
Right, it's wherever the ball carrier was. If it was the block that sprang him and it's right there at the spot, that's where it's from. But if it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think just make it a 5-yard. Just make it a 5-yard.
Yeah,
Can we talk about 6 yards? Does it have to be 5. An integrals of 5?
5 is good because it's that kind of penalty to me. You know what I mean? Like it's the same as an offsides to me. It's the same as an illegal touching or whatever.
Yeah. What about this? What about your first 2 holding calls are 5 yards? And if you have it, so to prevent teams from doing it because they're like, fuck it, it's 5 yards. What if they miss it? That would be the argument against, right? to prevent teams from doing it, just like from hack-a-shacking it. First 2 holding calls are 5 yards. After that, they're 10 again. So 3 on.
I like it.
10.
I like it.
And it's
I like
like, well, you put yourselves in that position. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
If we're changing the holding, I'm into it because it is by far my least favorite penalty, man. It's ruined so many Sundays for me.
Bob. We got to talk about pass interference because the PI calls this year have been all over the shop. They've been all over the fucking shop. I don't know what pass interference is anymore, and it's starting to be equivalent to the catch a few years ago. What's a catch? What's a catch?
If it's before the ball, it's pass interference to me.
Okay, but what about the turning around and looking for the ball thing? Is that a rule anymore? Or is that not a rule anymore?
I think
I've heard conflicting things.
Got to look for the ball.
Got to look for the ball. Got to look for the ball.
You got to if you're not looking for the ball, you're pass interfering.
Unless you're not making contact with the guy.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. If you don't make contact, you don't make contact. That's completely different.
Couldn't we put rules in place that are like
obviously if you just hold your hand up and it hits your arm, like that's cool. That's lucky. But like,
sure,
if you have your hands up and you're running full force into the dude and you're not, trying to make a play on the ball, like that's definitely pass interference.
I get it. Could we put rules in place that are akin to the holds, where it's like about where on the jersey you grab them, or where on their body you grab them, or like how long you've held them for? Because there's been situations where I've seen defensive backs like grab a guy for like a second, realize he's about to pass interfere, and like change the momentum of the guy's run and take his hands away and still get the flag thrown. And it's like, I saw you make the play. You got off him. Like, I saw you get off him. Like, you have to give some benefit of the doubt to the defender. That's a split-second decision.
In my opinion, pass interference should be a fully reviewable, because it's such a big
and
penalty.
Challengeable.
It's a spot foul.
And
fully challengeable, fully reviewable.
Of course.
Because if you can radio down if something is a fumble within 4 seconds, right? You see them do it all the time, where they're like, after instant review of the play, it was found out incomplete pass, second down. On we go. Awesome. Love it. You can do that.
I think I can tell you what pass interference is at full speed. I can tell you what it is.
Right. Why can't they just watch it? Right. It's even with the uncatchable balls. Like, you can watch a play, right, and be like, okay, that contact affected the fact that he was going to catch that ball.
But you can literally be like, there's 0% chance he's catching that fucking ball. You can do that on one replay. You can do that on one replay. I do it every week. I'm like, 100%. There's no way he's catching that. Why are they calling that PI? I say that once a week, dude. I say that alone to myself or with Leah.
Especially
once a fucking week.
It's always in the end zone. It's always in the fucking end zone.
What about just like kind of not putting it on the rule set, but saying like, just off to the side, just saying like the offensive PI, the defensive PI calls in the end zone, in the red zone. Maybe we just soften those just slightly, because it kind of should be a battle in there. You know what I mean? Like, it should be a little bit of a scrum.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's get into the power rankings.
We should make some rule changes, bro. We'd make this game better.
Fucking hell, it's unbelievable, honestly. There was a hot debate over number 10 on the power rankings today in the group chat, Bob, and I think that's mainly because you forgot that the Browns existed, which is fine.
That what? No, so actually,
you put the Packers originally, or the Packets as you have it written here. But you put the Packers originally, which
off my game today.
Apparently. That didn't seem. I couldn't allow that. It's just like I checked the hat. I couldn't allow that. I understand. It's not that you're off your game. It's that I think everybody passed. Let me look.
Everyone lost this week. Everyone lost this week, bro.
Everybody on the fucking power rankings.
Everyone lost.
The Cowboys and the 49ers and the Ravens.
The Dolphins moved up.
Everybody lost except the Bills.
The Dolphins moved up and they lost.
Yeah. Well, they looked all right. I just think they sort of lost.
That's exactly what happened.
They just sort of like took their foot off the gas, which is, I just think that there is issues in that Dolphins team that look like that. And I just wonder if I also did not love their I don't want to kids these days but I just, the celebrations were a little much. Like, they got a little over the top. I don't think. Do you remember when John Wall jumped on the scorer's table after they won Game 6 against us?
Sure do.
Isaiah Thomas.
Never forget it.
And it's like, you just think about Kobe Bryant.
Kelly Olynyk eliminated him.
Yeah. And I just think about Kobe Bryant being like, we don't hang divisional banners in this franchise like time at the Lakers. It's like, dude, you can't be jumping around celebrating beating Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans in December of 2023. When 9 other teams have already done that this season. So it's not, you don't get to do that. It's it's all about optics. And I like Mike McDaniel and I like the swagger of that team. But on the day that Tyreek Hill went out for like, I want to say he went out for long enough to understand that Tua looks like shit if he's not on the field. Is that not a nice?
That's very fair. No, that's very fair. Yeah, I mean, so the way I look at it with the Dolphins, right, is if I'm being perfectly honest, Katie texted me. I didn't hear a single thing you said before that.
Get off your phone. Doing a podcast.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Tua looked like shit for every down that Tyreek Hill was not on the field. He makes that offense. He's my MVP this year. He's gonna set yards from scrimmage records. He's the fastest man alive. You don't get to do like Tuaville when clearly I would look sick if I had Tyreek Hill. I think my arm is actually underrated, but like I would look sick if I had fucking Tyreek Hill, dude. I'd be like, just run, Tyreek, just run. And I would just fucking, if I can just throw it to where he's going to be, I'm good.
My favorite part of that whole thing was, I think my arm is underrated.
I actually,
because you kind of tossed it. You kind of tossed it in there.
Did you see how nicely I tossed it?
Actually, though, there's actually some facts to that statement.
Did you see how nicely I tossed it in though?
Oh, I see what you're saying. The accuracy of how you tossed it.
But I can do some stuff with the football. I'm just saying, I can throw.
I got
if you want to give me Tyreek Hill, I think I could throw a touchdown pass in the NFL.
So I got the hands until I don't have the hands. I'm one of those where like I'll make the greatest. I'm making all the catches until I just don't make the catch.
That's what separates us from the elite, you know.
Yeah, it's just.
I think I'm probably the same way with passing, to be honest.
So with Tyreek, bro, I've never seen a wide receiver affect the game like he does. You know what I mean? Like if there's ever a guy who's
I think some guys
MVP,
have come close.
Not like this though, man. Where
it's pretty crazy.
He's always open, always, and it's like even if he's not, just throw it to his space. Just throw it somewhere, and he'll run and fucking get it.
I think the Patriots' undefeated year is the
Randy.
Yeah, because I think that's the craziest.
That's fair.
Like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen from a wide receiver, and I accept the argument that like he had Tom Brady, and like what if
Randy was on a different level.
No, I mean he was like he changed that offense into the is like
you remember that Jets game specifically. I remember
for the Dolphins game where they ran up the score.
Yeah, well, remember he was triple teamed against the Jets and literally just reached up over three of them.
Was them?
Like, no.
It literally became a fucking verb. Yeah, it became a verb. That's how good he was. He just mossing people.
Is Hill just gonna be like, just run?
It's different. It's different, but I really have never.
Bro, we hilled those cops last night, bro. We were fucking out of there.
Tyreek Hill turned on the Jets.
Tyreek,
bro. I think, but I've never seen anything like his running though. I've never seen anything like it. Like when he has more gear changes in a human being than I've ever seen, like in sports. And it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. Like
that's fair. Yeah.
He has like an eighth gear. And when he gets to that like eighth gear, it looks like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Like everybody else is just like fading into the background. Like their drawn cartoons are like blurring. And he's just moving. It's like he's one of the fucking X-Men, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And then like I liked his whole moment where his like knee got kind of hurt because he got horse collared, and then he like kind of sprinted the sidelines, but he like didn't go back in, but he was like standing on the sidelines with his helmet off, just like getting mad. And I was like, yeah, I like this guy. This is my guy. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion. He went to another team, and a lot of people I think thought, not everyone, but a lot of people thought that he might fade into obscurity with not Patrick Mahomes throwing him a football.
Nope.
And instead he like became more of a big deal on the football field. And he looks great in that Dolphins uniform, to be honest. It looks really correct. Like you once said about Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know. I think that there's issues with this Dolphins team. And I think that there's things that aren't Tyreek Hill that are going to take them down in the playoffs. But I could see them getting to an AFC championship game.
100%.
It's great. I don't think that.
It's a good Browns conversation we just had too.
All right. No. I mean, we can jump around. I've decided that lately. I decided that it doesn't.
There's no rule.
matter.
Like I said earlier, bro. No rules. There's no rules.
I'll talk about the Browns with you, but I'm not going to do it on the Browns' time. All right, they haven't earned that.
That's fair. That's fair.
They haven't earned that
fair.
from me.
When the Browns come up, they'll fucking come up. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll come up.
That's in fact on that note. Let's talk about the Cowboys.
Okay.
I think we kind of thought this was going to happen. I feel like I built.
We did. We called this. No, we talked about this.
You could take like a snippets of the narrative I was constructing, and I bet alongside of this narrative, by the way. So thank you to my
Cowboys are at number 2, by the way, everyone.
Yeah. They're number 2 in the power rankings. Sorry, yeah. I'll just read it to them. 49ers, Cowboys, Ravens, Eagles, Dolphins, Chiefs, Bills, Lions, Broncos, Browns. There you go. Spoiled.
Boom.
So the number 2 Cowboys, and Mike even said it, I admire your restraint. The 49ers did look a little too good to not be number 1. They did look a little too
and
good.
they beat us by 40. So,
yeah. Yeah. You do rarely factor in that many games ago, but I agree with you.
When it's 44-14, you do.
What happened during that bye week that made Dak Prescott into a good quarterback?
From what I hear, it's his footwork. Apparently he had like a fucking.
We didn't want to think to address that one before.
That's bro. Apparently he had an awakening. I forget who he was talking to. I mean, it might have been Collinsworth who was saying it, where he was just like, he couldn't believe that he hadn't been prepping and doing. Certain things that he had been doing all
this. I can't,
bro. It's me either. It's so Dak. It's not even funny.
Oh shit! Do you have to do this stuff to be good at this?
Oh my god! And he's doing it. And he's like, this is what I did in college, by the way. All of a sudden, I started studying and I took tests, and I was like, oh my god, I know this shit. It's cool.
Yeah.
But apparently that's what happened. So, I don't know. It's just a completely new Dak, man. I still like have this little guy up here in my brain that's like, don't fucking trust it. It's like that girl that cheats on you 4 times and promises it's not. But like, you're diving back in. But like somewhere
I can't
back
relate.
up. I can't either. But
you're talking about lesser men than me, sir.
But I'm just, you know what I mean. It's just there's definitely still a doubt in my mind, but. This iteration of Dak Prescott makes this team a Super Bowl contender, right? If he's a top 1 quarterback in the NFL, MVP favorite, why the fuck wouldn't we be Super Bowl favorites? We have the best defense. We have a legit number 1 wide receiver, a legit running back, a legit number 2 wide receiver. A coach who doesn't seem like he's fucking up that much anymore.
Well,
all we were missing was the quarterback.
I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to take victory laps on your happy week, but like I think I remember pretty clearly saying to you like, what is it that makes you think Mike McCarthy's dumb or sucks? Is it Aaron Rodgers and his relationship with him? Because that guy's dumb and sucks. Like I remember saying that to you like 2 years ago and being like, I always thought Mike McCarthy was a good coach. Like he's a big product of who he has in his coach's room, I think. But I like his football philosophy. Right, I like his football philosophy. I like his decisiveness. I think he's a decisive man, and I think that people in leadership positions in any walk of life, if you're just decisive, that's like 85% of the fucking battle, to be honest with you.
That's so true.
And people just see that you're the one making decisions while they're kind of panicking that they have to, right? That's just what sort of happens. So I never thought Mike McCarthy was a bad coach. I did get talked out of Dak Prescott being a good quarterback with his final sort of goodbye last season.
To be fair, he talked you out of it. It wasn't.
I don't think. I was going to say. I don't think it was like not evidence based.
Right.
I think I did give you like a he's not that guy speech. But
I agreed with it.
I think we're talking about like one of the most miraculous turnarounds in the history of the position if he continues to play like this. But I'll put one caveat in here because I hear Mike's voice in my head for a second. He hadn't done it against a good team. He did do it against the Eagles team, but I did say this is a good time to play the Eagles.
Well, and he's always done this against the Eagles, to be fair. So that's where I don't think it's the most.
It's still obvious. We're not anointing it. We're not declaring.
Well, yeah, and there's been shades of this before, man. There's like I said to you in
this
the
is the best
chat,
he's ever looked.
100%
weeks the best he's ever looked.
100%. But there's always been 2-3 week stretches where people start asking if Dak is a top 5 quarterback. We've had this conversation before, and he always does something the
lowest he ever
time.
dropped for me was 5, to be honest.
I think he was close. 5 is high for the lowest ever. He was top 10 the whole time. He never dropped below top 10 because the state of the fucking position.
I don't know. I mean, he's year in, year out a playoff quarterback. You know what I mean?
But now he's taken that leap to an elite, and until we'll see what happens in the playoffs, bro. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous, but if this is the guy, we'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he always does do it against the Eagles, like we still haven't really seen that.
He
thing
does, though.
Always talking about. That means we still haven't seen that thing that Mike's always talking about, which is like, is he going to be able to do it? When he's the only game on TV and he goes home if he loses.
So we're gonna know in the next couple of weeks, because beyond the Eagles, we have the Bills this week, and then we have the Dolphins on Christmas Eve. So we got Bills, Dolphins back to back coming up. Then I think it's Commanders, and we have a couple shitty teams after that. But these next 2 games, if Dak, listen, if we go,
I think you'll beat the Bills. I think you'll beat the Bills.
I think we beat the Dolphins too. I questioned it at the beginning of the season, but seeing this Dolphins team, man, and what they've turned into, we're better than them. We just are. If we play the game that we can play,
yeah. See, I worry about the Dolphins game because I think that because of Dak's sort of resurgence or surgence, I guess, depending on how you look at it, I worry that you're going to try to get into like a fucking skills competition with them, and I would not do that. Like there's game tape on how to beat them, and like your team is fully capable of doing it. Exactly the thing you need to do to beat the Dolphins, which is like drag them into a trench and beat the fuck out of them. And you just did it to the Eagles. Like you just did it to the Eagles, who do it to everybody.
You think we're going to Seahawks it? We're going to Seahawks it?
I'm just a little worried that you're going to get into because like I'm a little worried that you're going to be like CeeDee Lamb's going to be like, oh, Tyreek is going to have a better game than me. Let's see. Or like, don't compare me to Tua. Like just I can hear it in my head. I think that the thing about this Cowboys team though is, first of all, we had a conversation about their ability to be a trench warfare team, and I was higher on that idea than you were. And look at how they just did the Eagles. Look at how they just did the Eagles. What I think about this Cowboys team is what they've displayed to me that they have not displayed in past seasons. Dak is adjacent to this point, but I think Mike McCarthy gets a lot of credit for this. Is they make grown-up choices now. I watch them make grown-up.
I love it.
Big boy decisions. Like, all right, that's fine. You can have the ball back. We're gonna stop you. We're gonna trust the defense. Moments like that. Okay, we didn't get the runoff for the first 2 downs. We're not gonna run it again on 3rd down just to like be cute. We're just gonna throw a fucking 6-yard pass. And we're gonna make it work. We've got big tight end over the middle plays getting designed for Jake Ferguson. We've got Tony Pollard. He looks great. We got Tony Pollard making decisions that benefit the team. Kind of quarterbacking from the backfield. Managing the game on the ground. The defense, since the Diggs injury, has gone, I think, from strength to strength. A couple of notable bad weeks, but what I like about their defense, and I watched this closely, is they were this kind of young upstart ball hawk defense last year and the year before. And now they're doing this bend don't break thing so effectively, where they're kind of like don't stress if they score on you. We'll stop them on the next one. They don't immediately lose their defensive identity if they give up a couple stupid plays, right? And case in point, when the fumble happens, right? And obviously that's not the defense's fault, but the Cowboys as a whole feel this way. When the fumble happens, I think the Cowboys team of yesteryear, that fumble happens and they go fuck, and they blow it. In reality, they score one more time and they ice the game and it's all over. That's a big boy. It was a big boy moment because everybody that's a Cowboys fan, I'm sure, thought, oh fuck, like right when that fumble to the end zone, Jaylen Carter, it was literally
great
rookie year,
because it was the only thing that couldn't happen. in that
Right.
moment, it was
Right.
like, what's the
To
only
give them
thing
the
that
game
can't
back, to
happen
hand them
right
the
now?
game back.
A
Yeah,
strip sack,
exactly.
a strip sack, pick six, or whatever. Any of
Right.
the above.
But they didn't do that. They just iced the game. They
So-
just like, we're better. We're icing the game.
Can I elaborate on that defense point? I
Yeah,
think
please.
that's such a good point because it is frustrating to see how much they've fallen off since Diggs went out.
Yeah, maybe as far as impact stats, maybe. But
but
the eye test is still strong, if you ask me.
100%. And I think, like you said, in games like that Seahawks game, right, where I'm sitting here, I'm shitting on the defense the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Gilmore, you're getting torched. Bland got torched.
I really like Bland though. I really like him.
I do too. I love Bland.
I thought he was I thought he might have been the best defensive player against the Eagles, unless I'm not thinking of
really good.
somebody.
No, Gilmore was the best defensive player.
Gilmore was awesome. Yeah, you're right. I really like watching
Gilmore
Deron
was the
Bland though.
best.
Deron Bland was just like always at this, like he was always like there or thereabouts. Every time a tackle happened, Urlacher used to be like this. Like if Urlacher didn't get the tackle, he got the assist tackle, or he was like the third man. And I thought that in any open field situation, I liked that about Deron Bland. He was like there. Your defense does get beat when they come short a little bit, and they didn't let that happen. And also a really good one-on-one performance against fucking oh my god,
AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Brown. It's like that guy physicals everybody. And then what's the cornerback's name that went?
Gilmore shut him down. It was
Gilmore.
Yeah.
And then the week before they switched him on DK Metcalf. And that's two of the most physical wide receivers, the most prototypical physical wide receivers in the
That's
NFL.
what Gilmore does, man. He's
he played great,
man.
and he didn't let him talk shit to him. He just like stayed in the zone.
He said he was
really good.
AJ Brown called him old, and apparently it pissed Gilmore off, and that's what like lit him up for this game. But the Seahawks game, right? What I thought was huge with that was, like you said, they're getting beat all night. But what happens when it matters in the second half? Bland gets a pick, and then Gilmore gets a pick to clinch it. And it's like exactly like you said, they're just big boys now. Jake Ferguson, though, I want to talk about him.
Oh yeah, I called him. I called him like week 6 or week 7. I think he's got all the tools.
He does. I thought he was another one of these unathletic white tight ends.
He's got great hands.
Dude,
he can run routes. Like he's got all the things.
He's looking a little Kelsey-ish on that big long
I wouldn't go
play.
that far.
That big long play though, that looks. He's a couple broken tackles, a hurdle. All that's missing is a 40-yard like lateral backward throw, and
I would have him watch Antonio Gates tape. That's what I would have him watch on this Cowboys team. I think that's what they need from him. I think he needs to be able to jump really high in the middle of the field. Yeah, jump really high in the air in the middle of the field, 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, and jump really high and get the ball. I think that he's taller than everybody, and also he hits route running holes before safeties, which is super rare for tight ends. So he's either I haven't watched enough of what happens before he gets there for the catch, but he's either super elusive and he's like running really nicely hidden routes behind the wide receivers, or he's just fast and athletic enough to hit these seams and then just like jump up in the air and catch the ball. He's a lot of fun to watch. And I'm glad they're not using him so much with like, oh yeah, let's like hit him let's hit him over by the sideline, 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Like have him run routes, dude. He can run routes. I promise you he can run routes. I've seen it. And I think they're starting to understand that.
He's Witten and Schultz, but more athletic.
Yeah, he's got a little Jason Witten to him. He's bigger though. He's a lot bigger.
He's bigger. He's faster.
Yeah.
No,
I think he's got those legs. He's got those like tight end pump into the fucking middle and like just jump up really high in the air. Fucking legs. It's crazy.
I'm in on this team, bro. I'm in. I know I said when I wouldn't get here, but like I'm in. I think if there's any year that I think that we actually do have I have a legitimate chance to watch my team play in the Super Bowl, I think it's this year. If we can beat the 49ers, obviously, big caveat. That's the team we got to get by. But this team that it's playing right now, I think can. So we'll see.
Can I just say, by the way, I agree with you, and I'm super happy that you're happy, but I have been fucking on the more optimistic side of this Cowboys team all season. Can I also say, in your fucking face, you said that was the worst Monday Night Football game you've ever watched, and all the turnovers were terrible. And I said Jaylen Johnson had one of the best picks of the season because we've switched to the Bears now, and I want to do the Bears. He had one of the best picks of the season. He had one of the best picks of the season because he dummied the QB and then fucking ran backwards and jumped up and caught it. And how vindicated was I in the Bears manhandling the fucking Detroit Lions and him doing the same thing to Jared Goff? He was 9 miles. His dick was so far into fucking Jared Goff's head. And he fucking dummied, and then he just backpedaled and just caught the fucking thing. Again, it was the same play on a pick. The dude's absolutely electric. He's on fire. We need to get this man a contract. We didn't fucking pick up his contract like idiots, which is so fucking us, right?
Is it 5th year? Is this 5th year?
Yeah, we got to get him signed. We got to figure something out. Nice big extension. We got money to spend, and we put ourselves in a position where we have to be player friendly about it. But I came into this season, Bob, saying I think this is what the Bears are going to look like, and then they look like fucking dog shit. And then Justin Fields got hurt, and now I think that we're sort of seeing that they're not a 2-win team like a lot of people are saying.
They're not.
They're at least, I hope, a 7-win team, and I think it should have been more. I mean, we could win 9 games. We'd have to win out. It would be pretty crazy. But if we win 9 games, then like we're exactly where I wanted us to be at the end of this year. Justin Fields is the guy, and then we have fucking Carolina's pick, and we go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like, even if that's not the decision they make, nothing that's happening is bad for your franchise at all, because like you have that first pick. So even if you do, even if you lose a couple, but Fields still looks good, you keep your pick high. You can also now shop Fields for so much more than he ever had at the beginning.
I don't
want to
shop.
I'm just saying that option's also still, and also
his
open
value
for
still
you.
goes up.
You know what I mean?
His
So
value
like,
still goes up.
no matter what happens moving forward, personally, I think Eberflus got to go no matter what happens. I know it's been. I just think you need to change. I think you got to get defensive minded coaches. For me, never work. It never works. You gotta have some sort of offensive mindset, and
What
I think
about
that's
Bill
the same.
Belichick?
Like that's literally where I was going. Where it's like, I feel like that's the mindset that's changing in the NFL nowadays. Where it's like you gotta be. Defensive minded coaches are so much more rigid in their approaches because they know that they can't lose the game. They can't do this. They can't. Bro, you gotta open this shit up. And if you're gonna make Justin Fields be Justin Fields, you need a dude like fucking. You need Harbaugh, who's gonna be like, okay, bro. Offense is yours. What the fuck do you want to do?
That's what I've
do
been
you
calling
wanna
for.
run?
That's and
You know what I mean?
this.
What do you
this,
think?
I've been calling for Justin Fields. I just wanted to go out on the metric of Justin Fields. I just wanted to be as good or not as good as Justin Fields is.
Yeah, bro. Let
I
him
want
do
it,
his thing,
and because
man.
I'm betting on his ceiling, and that's what we have to do in today's NFL. We have to see how good he is. And I would argue that like he's the quarterback we kind of are the least decided on in the NFL right now. Like there's
I'd
the
agree with
CJ
that, yeah.
Strouds of the world, right? Where it's like, okay, maybe he has a sophomore slump, and like less learned folk than us might say like, oh no, he sucks now. It's like, no, he's clearly good. Like, good is good. They're gonna have some tape on him, but if they
A quarterback is a
a quarterback's a quarterback. If they put the right weapons around him, etc. You and I were very much early on the train of like, no, Brock Purdy's good. Here's why he's good. Just because you don't have like these athletic tools doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback. He makes good decisions. Look, here you go. Yes, he's in a good system, but there's quarterbacks that could fuck that up. I guarantee you. Jimmy Garoppolo, for instance, would be hurt already, and they'd be scrambling to fill the fucking position. So here we are. Fields, it is the most trick or treat quarterback left in the NFL. There's still a chance that he could be a top 5 QB, and there's still a chance that he could be out of the NFL in 5 years. Like,
That's so
both
true.
of these things are still on the fucking table. So you have to gamble, and quite frankly, I'm gambling on him because I want to gamble on the idea of Justin Fields because I think that he could literally be the funnest player to watch of my lifetime. And I watched Devin Hester, and I mean like of the Bears. I watched Devin Hester, who was so much fucking fun to watch. And I think Fields has the ability to just be so sick. So
I agree.
You give him Marvin Harrison Jr., you give him DJ Moore, Cole Kmet goes up in ability one more year. He's got a good backfield. He just does. Like, I like our running room. I like it. We've had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. A little bit of luck there would be really helpful. As far as Eberflus goes, I mean, it's tough because I think he has righted the ship. I think he's worked really hard and done a really good job with the situation he was in. But I also rate our roster, and I think our roster is better than what they've put on the field. Is it as bad as Nagy? No. It's not. It's not even close. Like the play
Low
calling.
fucking bar though.
Yeah, of course it is. It's a really, really low bar. But I don't know who you put in, and I'm worried about just giving Justin Fields a third coach in 5 years.
I hear that.
And we might have made our bet here, unless we can get the offensive coordinator from Detroit.
Yeah. Ben Johnson's elite. Agreed.
If he was our head coach, I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough Bears talk on the Power Ranking Show. If they get to 9 wins, I hope that they're here for the last list of the season.
They'll at least be mentioned. They'll be there.
Well, they're mentioned anyway.
They're in the hunt.
The Browns are 10. The Joe Flacco thing is not going to last.
I love it though.
It's funny.
I'm in love with it.
It's
I love
funny.
It.
It's funny.
Yeah, but like you can't tell me watching quarterbacks every Sunday that he's not one of the best 15 fucking quarterbacks that
Well, I
you
think
watch
all it
this
does
Sunday.
is it puts the final bullet point on our point all year that the quarterback play is so bad now.
It's so
Because
bad.
Joe Flacco, when he was at his best, was not a regular season top 15 fucking QB. Like he went on a crazy Eli Manning-esque playoff run, and I think his playoff numbers are nothing to be sniffed at when he won that Super Bowl, and I think he won that Super Bowl decisively. And he's a big game guy. Like I'm not taking anything away from him. He earned every dollar that he made. But I mean, it's not gonna last. Like obviously, right? That's just insane. Like it's just not gonna last.
All they needed was a guy that can make a couple throws, man. I would watch out for the Browns in the playoffs. I think they're going to be tricky. I do.
But like tricky for who? They could maybe beat a pretender team. Like, and we're kind of narrowing those guys down anyway. I don't think they're going to beat the Dolphins in the playoffs, and they're probably the biggest pretender in the AFC, right?
That's fair. I mean, but they could beat a team like Jags for sure.
Yeah, well, the Jags,
my
I think
opinion.
the Jags
They just did.
losing steam. They're not even on this list, and it didn't even look like they were on the contenders mentions. So, the Broncos, Sean Payton, Coach of the Year, kind of backed up what he had to say. Kind of backed it up.
1-5, right? 1-5 to 7-6, right? They're 7-6 now.
The Broncos.
The 7-6, right? Yeah. It's one of it's honestly one of the most remarkable in-season turnarounds I've ever seen in my life.
Crazy.
And goes to tell me that like I'm never allowed to make any kind of decision or reaction on a team in the first 5 weeks of an NFL season.
Well, we're going to have to. It's sort of what keeps the lights on around here.
Yeah, we're obviously going to do it for the rest of our lives forever. But like, it's so crazy how different it really is because like, bro, we went from watching a team get 70 fucking points dropped on them. They were a joke in the NFL to beat it. They beat the Chiefs. They beat a couple good teams on this run, man. And they don't look bad doing it. Like, that's the thing is, like...
No, the offense is not that bad to watch, honestly. Russ kind of looks like 80,
Russ looks all right.
He's like 80%.
He's not the same, obviously.
75% of what he used to be in Seattle.
He's obviously
75%.
not the same, but he can make some throws.
But it's those Russ throws that he's making, though. It's those, like, I've rolled out of the pocket on purpose right away, and I've sidearmed it to, like...
Over to the sideline.
And it's like, sure. It's kicking you in the mouth over and over again. And the running game, it's one of those running games where it's like, it kind of reminds me of New Orleans, like when Sean Payton was at his best, where it's like, oh yeah, like here's another little guy that's going to run for 7 yards. Oh, here's another little guy I've never heard of that's going to run for 7 yards. And it's like, yeah, great. Like the way that he runs running back committees, I think is sublime. The Lions got manhandled by the Bears. We've talked about that. The Buffalo Bills does not change my opinion of them beating the Chiefs. I think it was a bullshit win, but also like the Chiefs, they have nobody to fucking throw the ball to. Like, they just don't. Like, they lead the league in drop passes by, like, a lot. Like, by a very large metric. And it's been that way since game one. And I think, I still wouldn't be surprised if they won the fucking Super Bowl, to be honest with you. But the Bills sure as fuck aren't. We talked about the Dolphins. I think we could sort of end on this. The Ravens and the Eagles are two teams that are having very similar, opposing conferences, but very similar seasons where there was a lot of wins early. The wins were momentarily unconvincing at times. And the chickens seem to be sort of coming home to roost for both of those teams with varying sort of results. Is that fair? Is that a fair comparison?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair for sure.
I think it's too bad that Lamar is gearing up to Lamar himself in the playoffs again.
does seem like
have
that.
Mike just take like another Lamar Jackson in the playoffs victory lap.
The thing is, though, is it's the same thing again, though, where it's like Lamar was pretty good enough. He was shitty for the first 3 quarters, for sure. He was
no,
making-
really bad though.
He
Like,
was really,
really
bad. He was really
bad.
shit. Fourth quarter, though, looked like the Lamar of this year again. You know what I mean? So, like, if he has the ability to right that ship, I think he'll be okay, because that's something that he couldn't do before. Like, if you remember, I've had Lamar on my fantasy team before. Like, bro, if he was under 10 points in the first half, you're fucked. He's not righting the ship. That's just the game it is. The Ravens are scoring 9 points. Game over. It's done. It didn't seem like that was the way. And, you know, even the resiliency, like in past years, the Ravens lose that fucking game 100 times out of 100. They lose that game. But they come back and they win them. That was insane ending. But like, yeah, and with the Eagles though,
I kind of knew it was coming though. Like that their identity as a team makes me feel like I was more inclined to think they were going to do it in the context of that game and watching that game than I have been in years gone by.
yeah.
You know, I'm just like, I still have a little bit more faith in them. And honestly, if they're not your number one pick to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, like who the fuck is?
It has to be them.
It has to be them.
the
I think
AFC
there's a
is to
clear
them.
difference between them and the rest of the AFC at this point, and I include the Chiefs in that, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs' offense is doing nothing for me anymore, so I 100% agree with that. They're completely dropped down from that top tier. Like you said, there's 4 good teams. It's the Ravens, the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the fucking Eagles. That's it. You know what I mean? In everyone else below that is another tier down, and that's
I think there's
including
like
the
an in
Chiefs.
between. There's an in between tier where it's like good but fatally flawed, and I put the Lions and the Dolphins in that. And
Yes,
then
agreed.
And then I think that there's like the kind of like, I don't see how you get there teams, which the Chiefs are now in with the Bills. Like we have to put the Chiefs there with the Bills based on how they've played this season. We just do.
You have to. Yeah, you do.
And then everybody else is like, oh, you're pretty good for what we thought you were going to be this year. So it's like they're overachievers. You're getting into the overachievers list because the Chiefs and the Bills are underachievers. The Dolphins and the Lions are fatally flawed. And then there's the 4 teams that are good. And realistically, the NFC Championship game might be the Super Bowl this year.
Well, and it's like exactly what you said is what is the epitome of what happened this week. Is like we had the conversation where I was like, what the fuck is going on in the NFL? And you're like, well, you know, it's really not that surprising. You're right. Like you explained it. And it's really not, because it's like,
well, all these teams have done that before. This is like,
Yeah,
it was
and-
not the first time that the Chiefs, like wide receivers dropped a fuck ton of passes. It wasn't the first time the Ravens defense let up a lot of very unnecessary points.
or
It
the
wasn't the first time
Texans
that-
shit the bed.
The Texans shit the bed against the team they should be based on what they've been doing. It wasn't the first time that the Eagles folded to what should be one of their biggest rivals. That happened the week fucking before, right? And it wasn't just lost, like fold. Like they bent over and they fucking took it. And these flaws in these teams, I mean, there's fatal flaws in almost all of them, to be honest. If the 49ers stay healthy, they'll probably win the whole fucking thing, because their fatal flaw is durability. If they stay healthy, they're the best team.
They're tough to beat. If,
They're
if
not
they
gonna.
have
Though.
a- if
They're
they
not
have all their
fucking gonna though.
pieces.
They're not gonna though, because it's a domino effect on that team too.
I think
Like,
it's Debo,
everyone's
too.
fucking hurt.
Debo's so big for
insane.
that. He's
He's
so
insane.
good, man.
He's so crazy.
Yeah, he's unreal.
I got Brandon Ayuk on a couple of my fantasy teams, and it's so annoying because you're like, dude, this guy would be a wide receiver 1 fucking anywhere else. Like he'd be getting you 20 points a game anywhere else. Like this, and he's like, you barely even notice him out there
Yeah,
compared.
yeah.
Like it's like it's bananas how good Debo is, because Debo also has this like weird like lateral movement thing where he's like not even a wide receiver.
He's a
like-
running back. He's a running back wide receiver.
It's so
What-
crazy.
He's what Cordell Patterson always wished he
I was gonna mention Cordell Patterson. That's so
Yeah.
funny that you fucking
Yeah.
say. He's like Cordell Patterson on steroids.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's what they.
Like,
really
it's
should
like
try to make
Jalen
that
Brown.
national
It's like Jalen Brown to Jeff Green. You know what I mean? It's same.
Yeah. I
different.
bet the Jeff Green might be a little bit of an insult to Cordell Patterson. He was really good. I mean, Jeff Green's still
Patterson
around.
was good.
Jeff
That's-
Green's still around.
So was Cordell Patterson, bro.
I know. Well, different timelines, but yeah, Cordell Patterson was a bear. He was good. I
Yeah.
liked him. I was disappointed when we got rid of him. I used to love getting him on fantasy because I tried to get him off you a couple years ago.
You get kickoff,
Dude,
and
all these
everything
different
else.
like, points. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, I
it's
can put
great.
him anywhere. It's awesome. What do you think about the Eagles, though? Honestly, do you think like take your Cowboys bias away for a second? Like, I that I think that Jalen Hurts has been hurt all year,
I
and
think
I
the
think that like
defense.
the different coordinators are making it an impact, and they don't look quite as elite as they did last year to me, even though
Yeah,
the numbers may dispute that.
the defense to me is the biggest one. You see what kind of coach, what's his name over in Indy? Um, fuck is his name? The old D coordinator for whoever
Dude,
for
you're
the
asking me
Eagles
about
last
names.
year.
I can't never remember anything.
Yeah, I don't know. But whoever the coach is in Indy right now, obviously had a big impact.
James Steichen.
Steichen, yeah, he was a great D coordinator, and it's obvious how lacking that secondary is. The Eagles still have big play guys and athletes on defense. You remember how good that front seven was last year, bro? They were fucking
Oh yeah.
unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
This year, it just doesn't. It's completely lacking from that intimidation on defense. Like there's no point. Last year when we played the Eagles, every time Dak dropped back the pass, it was like, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. None of that yesterday. Or on Sunday. Not for a second. There was time. He was able to sit back and like pick the defense apart. The secondary doesn't apply any pressure anymore. They're not ball hawking like they were last year. So it's clear that the coordinator has a big effect because it's the same guys.
Of
And
course.
they have Jordan Davis now on top of it. So it's like, and they just signed fucking Darius Leonard. Which he made the wrong decision. Fuck you, bro. Should have came to the Cowboys.
I mean, listen, I think for me, talent is obviously the number one factor when you're building a front seven. Like, if you need at least one to be an elite front seven. You need at least one guy that's elite at something. So you need a Brian Urlacher, you need a Michael Strahan, you need a Micah Parsons. Like, you need one of these guys within that group to be a game changer, right? And I think that there's huge upsides to having great corners and great safeties, but the game is won and lost in the trenches still in a lot of ways. I mean, not to keep bringing up the Bears, but one thing that Eberflus has done that I really enjoy is that there's a lot of identity in our front seven all of a sudden. Since we brought Montez Sweat in and Tremaine Edmonds has really like come through, and it's like they're doing a thing I've been asking them to do since all the times I had to watch Patriots games, and a thing that Bill Belichick always had his teams doing, and it's the little things. It's everybody on that Bears team, when the defense plays well, they make the first tackle. Like, you don't
It's
like
so huge. It's
they
so huge.
it's basically the most important thing on defense. It's the most important thing because it's a momentum game. And if Tremaine Edmonds was out there making tackles that he had no business making, like it was like, how did that, those moments where you're like, how did that guy go down? Like, I didn't even see where the guy came from. It was like a scrum, and Tremaine Edmonds is like hooking an ankle and just taking him down, right? And it's like these momentum killers. And I think the Eagles, and obviously it's very different than the Eagles of last year compared to the Bears of now, but I think that's the base that you build on. That's how you see, like, but stopping the run, first time tackles. Then you can start to say, okay, yeah, try to punch the fucking ball out. Yeah. Fuck it. You get a moment where you can like backpedal and try to take a pick here and like in the cover two if you're a linebacker. They need to start from square one again. And I know it's a tough time for them to do it, but that front seven is talented and they do it very, very fast if they did it correctly. And I just think that they're very loose. Really, really loose. Like they're just playing like the Cowboys exploited it. They were like, you guys just you look like you're playing 3rd and 10 and you're up two scores on every fucking play on 0-0. That's what that Eagles defense looked like to me against the Cowboys. So I really enjoyed Tony Pollard. I've been a big Tony Pollard fan for a couple of years, largely due to you. But I mean, that whole Cowboys backfield plus Dak, they got whatever they wanted from 10 to 15 yards. They got whatever they wanted for that whole game. And it's like, you can't win a Super Bowl if your defense looks like that. The Chiefs are sort of guilty of it too. I mean, the big thing we talk about with the Chiefs all year is the fact that they have no fucking receivers, but their defense was elite for 4 weeks. And now they're sort of letting in dumb kind of like longer, what should be a 3-yard run was a 7-yard run. What should be a 7-yard run is a 15-yard run, like that kind of stuff. I'm watching the Chiefs do it too. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a longevity thing. Maybe they're like, they're professionals. They're coming into the playoffs. They're like, well, we got to save our legs here, or like it's not a contract here, or whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I mean, that you're right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The Eagles defense is the problem.
A good D coordinator gives your team so much swag. It's just it's proven. I've had Dan Quinn in Dallas now for 3-4 years, man, and I've had multiple defenses under him where you feel the swag permeating off of them. Like
It's an identity.
it really is, man. And it's like the first iteration of it was the Jaylen Smith LVE linebacker. Remember they did like the Wolf when they were good the Dak rookie year.
Mhm.
And it's just it's matured. And that's what's missing from this Eagles, where it's like last year they had that identity, bro. They whooped your ass, and now they just don't have it. So it all circles back to the coach, man. It has to. It has to.
In Chicago, a name that's hallowed across the ears of every young Bears fan is Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, exactly. Get carried off the field, bro.
The guy that just said like we're meaner, we're leaner, and if they try to hand the ball off, like I mean it's 1985, but if they try to hand the ball off and run on us, like you should take that as a personal affront. You should take that. You should be insulted by that. The 46 defense, like I mean it's essentially untenable now. You can still run it in Madden, but you can't really run it in the NFL anymore. Maybe in very hyper specific situations, like receivers are too fast. Maybe if you had like the best strong safety of all time, you can actually run the 46. I have theories about this if you can like cover a huge zone, but the 46 is like, oh, you're running the ball on us, like cool, or like your quarterback is going to beat us. Let's see that we're running the 46. Yeah, like let's let Mitch Trubisky beat us. Like, is it going to work? I don't think so. We're going to run the 46. There's going to be
Definitely
open
not.
guys all over the fucking field, but we're going to get to him in less than 3 seconds. Can he handle that? I don't think so. And then there's like blitz counters to that. There's like, Mike McDaniel's offense in Miami, like Tua gets the ball out of his hands in like less than 3 seconds almost every single time. It's like how all the plays are designed. And I think that's because Mike McDaniel knows he's limited as a QB. Yeah. Honestly, on talent, Dak has all the things. He really does have all the things. Telling me that he like hadn't studied for any tests up until this point is aggravating.
It's so stupid.
Because he's lost me buddy in the past, because of how good he should be. But I'm willing to say that if the Cowboys can somehow beat the 49ers in the playoffs, they're Super Bowl champions. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which makes me think that them being number 2 on this list is pretty fair.
Yeah, the only team I can see stopping them is the 49ers. If the Cowboys lose to anyone else in the playoffs, it's a disappointment to me. Even the Eagles.
You guys have failed again. Is the problem.
Agreed.
If you lose to the 49ers, you can kind of go home with your head held high. You can go.
Although that would be 3 years in a row, so that would kind of really fucking hurt. But
no, it would hurt. Obviously, of course, it would hurt. I understand that it would hurt, but it's. I think if you get to the Super Bowl, you win the Super Bowl this year. The path there is crazy. I don't think you're beating the 49ers either. I think you need the 49ers to lose to someone else, which is weird, but true, right?
Probably not going to happen though.
But like, if they were to lose to the Eagles, can that happen at this point? Could they lose to the? No, yeah, they could lose to the Eagles
if we get the one.
If you get the one seed.
If we get the one,
yeah, they could lose to the Eagles, and then you see the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I'm betting big on the Cowboys in that game for sure.
Let's not get there yet.
Come on.
I'm just happy to be number 2. I'm happy to be number 2 this late into the season.
Who does number 2 work for? Austin Powers? No.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Listen, I
Lucky Charms.
He dies first, and I was bummed out. I'm high on the Cowboys, Bob. I genuinely am. I'm lower on the Chiefs than I've ever been. I'm higher on the Cowboys than I've ever been. Essentially, it's like you're putting stuff in the food around here at the missing the point offices. I can't even speak to it. I mean, you should be on cloud 9 right now. Cowboys are doing great. The Chiefs are as bad as you said they were all last year. You're a year early on that take. If you use Mike's logic, he called the.
I'm on point, bro. I'm on point.
Mike called the Lions being the best team in the NFC like
17
years ago. Yeah. So that means that his take came true.
They were 3-13 that year, but this is true.
But here we are. We all say things, and sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. But I'm proud of you for being very cool about the power rankings this year and putting the Steelers in where the times where I thought that they should have been in. I don't think losing to two win teams 2 weeks in a row.
They'll never be it again.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
but you literally said that before. You quite literally said it before like a lot of times. Like you just like, and that's like
Every time they drop out, that's it.
borderline a catchphrase.
They're done.
But that's like what has always been what's
Castration.
what's become funny about the Steelers narrative. Like I just thinking back to the fact that they went 11-0 in that season, it's like that I still agree with my old take, even though your take became true, because an 11-0 team is a good team. Like you can't, it's like undeniable. But this is what they do. They're so trick or treat, and they're just annoying. They hang around. He'll still finish with an above 500 record. You just know he's gonna.
It's the worst above 500 team I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but like that hyperbole doesn't change the facts. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. And then the problem is, and the thing that annoys you about it is, they could take that above 500 team into the offseason, make a couple of tweaks, draft a 4th round wide receiver out of like, I don't know,
Central Michigan,
yeah. Right? Or like a UCF.
That's where AB came from. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh shit. It's like, here they are again. In the is Kenny Pickett the guy scale, I don't think so. But like, God, what a great reminder of why I want to Mitch out of my fucking city.
Mitch
oh my God.
Mitch is not.
You know, I saw him win games. I saw him dominate games.
He went 13-3, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely did see him like do well, but I always knew that like he wasn't good. You know, like on some level, I just always
know. Yeah. Like when you watch a quarterback, bro.
The Mitch Santos was a really funny bit, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good bit for a couple years ago.
I just said this on the other show. It turned into the dark ages real fucking fast. So
it still
wasn't
funny.
Much of an assance.
That's the funny of it. You know, I mean, if you do like the Russ-assance, that's probably a better play on words, and it's really happening. But it's less fun when it like doesn't go insane. You know. Well, we're both Kenny Pickett fans, though. Where do you stand?
I do like Kenny Pickett. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I think he could be good. I mean, Matt Canada was the worst offensive coordinator in history of the NFL, and
I don't know, man.
I just don't.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. Well, McDaniels wasn't a bad OC, but Matt Patricia.
No, Matt Patricia. Really yeah, that's actually kind of who I meant. They're like the same guy in my head now.
But yeah, I mean, listen, Steelers. We can't end the show talking about the Steelers because everyone's just gonna think about the Steelers all week and want to fucking kill them.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of like herpes.
That's where they're at.
They're kind of like herpes, honestly. They just never go away. Never truly go away.
You know what I mean, bro? It's so.
I mean, it hurts me because for me, it's like I watch like.
I feel bad for you that you have to watch that team every week.
No, but it's not that. It's like genuinely like by week 3. I had given up on the Bears, and I was just like, "You typical fucking useless cunts!" Every season I'm up on high,
every year,
and you're just and I was like, "Whatever."
It's usually where I am, bro.
And then I become like a sports atheist, and I get to put on Red Zone, and I get to, and I get to be like, I'm just like looking at the whole NFL. It's awesome. The problem with the Steelers this year is like I've watched my wife, who I love dearly, like deep in my heart. I care for this human being. And I know that she genuinely cares about the successes and failures of this team. And they just like flattered to deceive all year. Like I knew that they've done this to her twice now, where I knew deep down they weren't good. I'm trying to put it out into the universe for her benefit to make them good. But I know deep down they're not. And I know they're going to disappoint her. And then they do this. This is the exact thing they do every year. They take this little fucking slump where they're like, oh, we're not actually going to do anything, just so you know. And then she has to be like, oh, okay, cool. And like she's also a huge Penguins fan, and the Penguins have also been doing shitty. So it's like, as a real sports fan, I understand that it's harming her like emotionally, you know. So I want the Steelers to be good. I genuinely do. I don't think anyone else in your contenders list is good.
There's no good teams, bro. There's no good teams. The Jaguars should be there.
I think the Bengals are the example of the good team. Like they're a good team for how they're doing since Joe Burrow.
Agreed. They're much better than I thought they were, for sure.
Like they're like, we're still the Bengals, you fucking bitches. Like we still, like if Joe Burrow, right, and the Bengals had continued their run of form, their resurgence, and done the thing they do every year, we would be sitting here going like the Bengals are a shoo-in in the AFC now that the Chiefs aren't good, right?
Agreed.
Like we would 100% be like, oh, it's the Bengals, because it wouldn't be the fucking Ravens, because it'd be Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship game, and Lamar Jackson's not beating Joe Burrow in an AFC Championship game. He's just not. So he could maybe win an AFC Championship game when Joe Burrow's not around, or he could maybe win an AFC Championship game when fucking Patrick Mahomes has the worst collection of fucking twinkle-toed dildos running around with fucking dildos for hands trying to catch balls, right? Just looking like a bunch of fucking dildo handers, right? Edward
many
dildo
dildos.
hands.
Just dildos.
How are you supposed
Big
to catch a
bag-
ball with
big bag of
dildos for
dicks.
fingers?
Big bag of dicks.
How do you catch a ball with dildos for fingers? You don't. You know what you do when you have dildos for fingers? You go fuck yourself. All right. Everybody, I'm so sorry for
that's
the
better.
fucking
That's
low
better.
standard of the
That's
NFL
better.
this season. The NFL standard is fucking slipped. The refereeing has slipped. The general play has slipped. The quarterbacking is at an all-time fucking low, quite frankly. It's at an all-time low. And I think they need to take a long, hard look in the mirror because what it's gearing up to me to be is one of those really lame Super Bowls where the fucking 49ers,
blowouts?
yeah, the 49ers beat the Ravens 49-3. And you're just like, all right, who brought dip? You know, it's fuck, you know, and we've been pretty blessed with some pretty good Super Bowls in our lifetime. I'm not gonna lie, some really nice ones, but also some fucking stinkers. My all-time least favorite was Raiders.
Raven, Bucks. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
bad.
that was just like.
That was a bad one.
But you knew, right? You just knew.
Steelers, Seahawks was really bad.
Yeah, but Steelers Cardinals was one of the best of all time.
The best fucking game I've
Maybe
ever
the
watched
best
in my
ever.
entire life.
Maybe the best
Yeah,
ever.
That was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
That was.
Um,
sick, dude.
I wanted the Cardinals to win that game so fucking bad.
I was kind of pulling for Larry Fitz.
That's
Like,
why, bro.
specifically,
And it
like
was the
that-
Cardinals. Like,
Yeah,
who the
yeah.
fuck doesn't want the Cardinals to
But
win?
I also I didn't hate that Steelers team. Like Hines Ward, I liked.
I like Santonio too.
Santonio Holmes. Santonio Holmes, I love.
I love
and-
Santonio Holmes. I always
Yeah,
did.
I mean that Steelers team was just good. I was also a huge Polamalu fan because people were like, "Oh, fucking Troy Polamalu!" Like he comes and shows on the line of scrimmage. I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he can get back. Like he can literally backpedal so fucking fast. Like he'll go drop back into coverage if he wants. That's how fucking athletic he is. It's
He's so
insane.
good. Yeah, he
It's
was
fucking
unbelievable.
crazy, dude. Like
He was-
just
he was
enjoy the
amazing.
athleticism while it's here. You fucking dildos. It's so great. Dildos. All right, it's awesome. We talked about the NFL. I'm disappointed in them this year, and I think they all need to take a long, hard look at themselves in the offseason, quite frankly.
I agree.
I think they all need to put in work this summer. I think the whole league needs to put in work this summer. And honestly, I think what we can really do for ourselves, Bob, is we can just go in as just complete virgins next year. Just be like, I don't know.
Wipe the slate.
I don't know. Everybody's starting at zero. We're not doing the narrative from the beginning next year. We're just going everybody's at zero. Show me what you got.
Unless the Cowboys win the Super Bowl.
If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, you're welcome to fucking do whatever. Honestly, the floor is yours. If the
Just
Cowboys
for number one all
you
year.
should do an hour-long solo pod. If the
Oh
fucking
my
Cowboys win the
God,
Super
bro.
Bowl, you should do it.
And it's just gonna be me just jerking off to Dak Prescott highlights.
Yeah, I mean we don't have any content on Pornhub at the moment, so it's
Hey.
time. It's time. It's time to upload to the hub.
Branch out to all audiences.
Craig's always saying we gotta hit every avenue, if we want to grow. All right, well, for myself, DK Sizzle, for the real BK Bob Kelly,
That's a
this
good
is
way to
the,
end it.
The fucking Power Rankings podcast. Oh my god, I can't wait till this turns into the playoffs podcast, and we're just talking about how fun the 49ers are to watch. Good night, everybody.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment. Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido!
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.